Hi, I'm Detective Hernandez of the Newport News Police Department, and this is Behind the Badge.
I'm Officer Harold Eley, and welcome to Behind the Badge. Today on Behind the Badge, we're going to talk about the Records Division of the Newport News Police Department. And with me today to have that discussion is Sergeant Nowak and also Administrative Assistant June Maden. Welcome to Behind the Badge.
Thank you.
All right. Now, before we actually get down to talking about the Records Division, let's talk a little bit about you, okay? Why don't we start with you, Ms. Maden?
Well, I went ahead and applied with the city, and I wanted to work with the Newport News Police Department, and I got hired on in 2001 of May, and I started at the midnight shift, and which everyone gets accustomed and acclimatized to it. Mm-hmm. And then I proceeded to go ahead and go to the second shift, and then the first shift of records. And that's where my mainstay has been, and I've learned just about every facet of the Records Division. Okay. I'm here for the police department.
Excellent.
I'm here for the community.
All right. Sergeant, what about you?
Well, I started my career in 1989, as most officers do. I started in uniform patrol, and I've worked every precinct in this city. When I first came, there was only 2 precincts. And about after 11 years in patrol, I then went to investigations, spent a time in investigations in white collar. At that time, we also had a financial crimes task force, which I was fortunate enough to participate in. And in 2001, I was promoted to the rank of sergeant and went back to patrol. Went to midnight shift, and then progressed on to narcotics for a brief stint, and then went back to patrol. And now I'm currently assigned to Records Division, and with an emphasis on the secondary employment.
Okay. Well, you said it, Records Division. Now, I know that those of you out there don't know much about the police department's Records Division, so maybe we can get some clarification on it here today. All right, so who wants to start? What is the Records Division really all about?
Well, the Record Division has a lot of responsibilities. Primary responsibility, of course, is to maintain the records, but we're also responsible for responding to any what's referred to as Freedom of Information Act requests, as well as subpoena duces tecums. Those are basically, a subpoena duces tecum is a document that comes from an attorney or from the clerk of the courts, and it's requesting records from the department to produce for various legal matters, either a civil matter or a criminal matter. And we also are responsible for handling the Freedom of Information Act request, which basically allows any citizen that resides in the city, or excuse me, resides in the state, or any media or media outlet that broadcasts into the state to request information from the department, public information.
Okay, all righty. So that's a lot to handle.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, when you say records, how do you mean that? Are we talking paper records? Are we talking electronic records? What are we talking about?
We're talking all.
All.
We're talking paper records. We do have electronic records, as well as microfilm. So it is various, it's almost every medium of records you can think of is what we house.
All righty. And of course the public has access to that information.
They have access to the information. They may not have access to all of the information. There's some information that we're prohibited by law to release. And sometimes there's information that we will not release until an investigation is completed or the case has been adjudicated in court. And as well as we're not allowed to release information on juveniles.
All right. Records. How do you maintain those records? I mean, are we talking a computer system? Are we talking, you tell me.
I'll let Ms. Maden answer that question.
Okay.
Well, currently we have it on our CAD system at this time.
Okay.
Okay. And it will range from information from citizen getting a parking ticket that's been issued to them, if they've had a traffic summons that an officer has written to them, and we currently enter in all that information by hand into the computer. And we store it. If it's hand, we're going to go ahead and take care of the paperwork and store it in certain areas in the records division. It's maintained there depending on the retention period. Sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 5 years. We also garage sales for a citizen. We also do that. Everything is in our CAD system.
Okay, you said a garage sale. Are we talking about a permit?
Garage
So that
sale,
you can
yard
have a
sale
garage sale?
permits. We go ahead and issue those at the records department.
Okay.
And of course, you know, that is the 9710 Jefferson Avenue building. And we're currently open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay. Well, what
Okay.
happens after 5 p.m.?
Give us a call and we'll direct you exactly what we need to do for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So somebody's
Sometimes-
there 24 hours a day.
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes, yes, we do have people who walk in, but there are certain register functions that we only do during the daytime hours, and that's usually between 8 to 5.
Okay.
But again, we're here for the citizens and we're here to help. If we're able to, we will help. Okay, or we will get you to that contact person to make sure that you are taken care of.
Now, you did mention something that I know a lot of people ask about, and that's parking tickets. Now, do you pay a parking ticket at the records division?
No, you do
No.
not.
Okay.
You can either pay, it depends on the stage of the citation, of the parking ticket. If you pay the parking ticket within the first 30 days, you can use the mailer that's included with the parking ticket. It's a blue mailer that comes with the ticket. And there's instructions, and it's pre-printed and it has the address of the treasurer's office. Or if you'd like to, you can go to the treasurer's 2 locations, the one downtown Newport News or the one located up in, on Jefferson Avenue up around Rich Neck Road.
Right.
Once it gets to the stage, or if you request to talk to the judge and present your side of the situation to the judge, you can request to have it sent to the summons phase. At that point in time, the summons needs to be paid. You need to take your citation. Once the summons has been issued, you need to take the summons to the traffic court and pay the ticket there. Okay. So no, we do not accept any payments for any of the parking tickets at the police department. Okay. What I'd also like to mention too is I know several times we have military personnel or we have other individuals who they let a third party use their car and it's parked and they get a violation for it. In order for someone to pay the ticket other than the registered owner of the vehicle, we need a notarized letter from the owner giving that person permission to pay the ticket.
Oh, okay.
Take care of it on their behalf, because we have to actually, the citizen comes into the records department and we issue them a court summons. So the court is holding that person accountable who comes in to take care of that citation.
So if you're using someone else's car and you happen to get a citation, you have to bring back a notarized letter from that person giving you permission to pay that ticket.
From the registered owner,
From
yes.
the registered owner.
Right, if
Yes.
that owner is not going to go ahead and come in. If they said, well,
Or
you
can't
got,
because they may be out of
Right.
the country or
Right, exactly.
something of that nature. Okay.
But there are other times that we also have handicapped people who that turn around and their placard falls off. They can come in and we can put it also on the dismissal docket so they don't have to appear in court and they don't have to pay a fee. It does happen, you know. The records department also is in charge for accidents. If a citizen is involved in an accident and an officer has written an accident report, they're able to come in and pay a $10 fee, of course. Just about everything in records is a $10 fee to a point. If it's an offense report and they're the victim, there's no charge. They just have to show their ID when they come in.
All right, do other people have, just talking about an offense report, do other individuals have access to an offense report? Let's say a burglary has occurred and there is an offense report generated and the victim isn't coming in, but some other person that may have in some way been involved in the incident comes in and asks for that report. Are we able to give them that report?
Depending on what the situation is involving in that report, if their name is listed, let's say they might have been the reporting person.
Okay.
The reporting person or the victim may get a copy of that report. The offender will not be listed, okay? Because it's an ongoing investigation. So certain information, again, is not
Releasable.
releasable to the public at that point in time.
Okay.